Hey everyone. You're probably looking at this one and being a little bit confused right now. Wait a minute. That's not a tank. That's a that's a ship. Well, good observation. You're absolutely right. This week I decided to jump back into World of Warships, which a game that I started playing about um, 2 months ago. No, longer ago than that, 3 months ago, and pretty much neglected it um, right after Christmas. Um, so I decided to get back into it just a few days ago, and I thought, since I'm actually getting back into it and it seems to be running a little bit better on my computer, why don't I go ahead and do some video? So I recorded these as I was playing them, and in this first one, you're going to see something that's just absolutely ridiculous. If you notice, one of the destroyers on our team over there on the list at the bottom, he's pink, which is the warship's equivalent of being blue in World of Tanks. And you're probably wondering, okay, well, what kind of a player does he have to be to end up pink? Well, if you look, um, he's over there shooting at our teammates already. He just launched a salvo of torpedoes at our friendly cruiser and sunk him, and sunk himself as well. I think so. That credits him to a -2 score and puts us down 2 ships right off the bat. So I immediately go into um, a complaint there, and then we carry on. So sailing into the strait between all these islands clustered together here, we've got an enemy destroyer. So, and we're in the Tier 1 German cruiser, the Hermelin. I'm sure I've mispronounced that. Um, but and there's torpedoes in the water, and we're putting fire into this destroyer as he pops in and out of his concealment there. But and we've just incapacitated one of his main batteries, and now we've set him on fire and incapacitated him even more. And we're putting some serious hurt into this guy, but it's not going to last very long. And we're taking fire from multiple directions. He's sunk, but here it comes. Torpedoes in the water. That was from that destroyer. And we've used the damage control to take care of the flooding, but look at our health. I mean, we're just withering away already. And here comes another barrage of torpedoes. We sail, quite luckily, right between them. But, with the destroyer at point-blank range, even though we've knocked out his engines there, he's going to put another salvo of torpedoes in the water. And at this range, yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. And so ends that one. Surprisingly, we actually come away with a win there. So moving on to the next one. Here we are. I was really, really ticked off after that first battle. So I decided to jump into my Tier 3 American cruiser, the St. Louis. It's the highest tier ship I've got. Like I said, I haven't put a whole lot of time into the game. But this is what I've got, and I just absolutely love it because if you look at it, it's fully upgraded, and it is just bristling with guns. So we're on the same map, starting on the opposite side, and a completely different battle type. Each team has a single battleship and a single aircraft carrier. So we're going to sail our way through, and we're looking for somebody to put some serious hurt on because we're just absolutely ticked about what happened before. So we put some random shots out, see if we hit anything. See if we hit anything that's coming into the range of our guns on the other side of these islands. We don't score any hits, but somebody sights a cruiser over there, and there's the battleship over there, and another enemy cruiser. And nobody's quite in our range, so we're going to turn around here and come between these islands. And got to watch out for those torpedo bombers. They're a pretty good distance out, but I'm going to mark them as a priority target because I don't trust it. So there's one of the enemy cruisers. We've got another one that's popped up over there, but he's out of the firing range. And there's another one just on the other side of the island here. There's their battleship. So we're going to focus down on this cruiser since he's in range, and those shots didn't give him enough lead, and I could tell immediately they were going to fall into the water behind him. We've taken a light hit, and out of that barrage we got one hit. So at least we've sort of found the range. Put a second volley out there. Nothing hits. Again, don't lead the target enough. But we're closing in on him. So the amount of lead that we have to give is slowly shortening up. There's another volley, and we score a couple of hits and a couple of incapacitating hits as well. Put another volley of shots out, land a couple more hits, and then somebody sinks him. Alright. Well, there's a cluster of enemy ships. Some of them are within gun range. We're sailing broadside to them, so we're going to give them a full volley and see what comes up. The shots go out, and we get one hit, and it's an incapacitation. We knocked out one of their guns. Alright. For such a long-range shot, that's not bad, but there's a destroyer behind us, and you know he's going to be putting torpedoes in the water. He turns to face us. Looks like he's turning around to go the other way. So we're going to put some high explosive shots towards him. And all of these are falling just short of him. But because of the amount of time that we waited, we're now putting a constant barrage of fire into him. Knocked out one of his guns, and we've sunk him. Alright. So we're starting to feel a little bit better now after what happened in that first battle. Only 4 ships left on the enemy team. And this is a co-op battle. These are all co-op battles, so they're all bots. But I find it to just be a lot more relaxed and enjoyable to go into the co-op battles than to go into the random battles and have to deal with actual people. Now they're down to 3 ships. And it looks like it's their battleship, their aircraft carrier, and their St. Louis cruiser. So we scored 14 hits, 3 incapacitations, and sunk 1. So we're doing pretty good. It'd be really nice to be able to close in on that battleship and get some damage into him. But he's at long range, 9 kilometers away, which is just outside of gun range, I think. No, he's just inside it. But he's on the other side of that island, and he's going to get away. Those are going to fall just short. And a little bit overshot. Again, we've marked the torpedo bombers as a primary target. And there's the enemy St. Louis coming around behind us. So instead of going after that battleship, since he's got problems of his own, we're going to swing around and we're going to try to hit the St. Louis. And he's put shots out towards us as well. And he hit us. That's alright. Damage is light. We returned fire and everything overshot him just a little bit. So we're going to bring that down. Fire just short and still overshot him as he turns into us. And again, we're putting a constant barrage of fire out towards him. It's what I absolutely love about this ship, is it is just bristling with guns. And there's an incapacitation. Although it doesn't show. There's another one, and again, it doesn't show. Actually, I don't think those are incapacitated. No, those were modules that were completely knocked out. So we're scoring some serious damage on this guy. And we're not the only one. Somebody else is hitting him too. That's what it is. Somebody else is getting those incapacitations. So that's alright. We're splitting up a large amount of damage on this guy. And he seems to have focused all of his guns on something else. Now he's got 3 things shooting at him. We finally score an incapacitation, knock out one of his main batteries. And he's sailing straight onto us still. So we're just going to keep pouring on the high explosive. And we've set him on fire. And there he goes. Somebody else gets the credit for the kill, but that's alright. So we're now up to 39 hits, 4 incapacitations. We've sunk one, and we set one on fire. So now we're just looking for that aircraft carrier. And we know he's got to be somewhere down here at the far south end of the map, because that's where his aircraft keep coming from. It turns out he's down there at about, I think it was I-7. It was either I or J7. As you see, his torpedo bombers just took off. So we mark them as a primary target, and there he is. And yeah, it was J7. So he's outside of range, but he's sailing towards us. So he's closing the distance just as we are. And he makes a nice sharp turn there to try to turn away from us. And our shots fall just short. We'll put some more out there, and he's not moving very fast. So we don't have to put a lot of lead on these. But still, they all fall just short. Other people are hitting him. These are going to sail true, I think. Yep. All 4 of those hit. We'll put 4 more shots out on him. And we score 1 hit. We slow down and start to turn to bring more guns to bear on him. And now we've pretty much got the entire starboard side shooting at him as he's trying to turn away. He's got nowhere to go. We score another incapacitation. We take out his steering. We've hit him 9 times in the last few volleys. There's 2 more hits. There's 3 more hits. There's a bunch more. So we're just raining high explosive on him. Someone set him on fire. So he's not going to be able to launch or recover any aircraft, and there he goes. So that one's sunk. Let's take a look at the post-battle. 23,000 credits, 705 experience. Not bad. Finished 3rd on the team. Also not bad. And 32, almost 33,000 damage caused, plus 93 damage from one of the fires set. So it's pretty good. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, this was the result screen from that first battle. 13,000 credits, 528 experience. Finished 3rd on the team. And if you look here, we only did about just a little over 9,000 damage, plus the 300 damage from setting a fire. We took 2,500 damage. All things considered, that one actually turned out pretty good. So here we are in the next battle in the Tier 2 American cruiser, the Chester. And I'm still working on this one because I'm working on getting the Tier 2 American destroyer next. So this one has a fair amount of guns. And again, it's fully upgraded. We've got 6 guns in our main battery that at any one time we can bring as many as 4 of them to bear on a target if we're broadside to them. And they pack quite a wallop, so pretty decent. So, and we're on the islands map instead of the big race map here. So, and immediately somebody spots one of the enemy battleships. So there's 3 battleships in this fight, so a lot of hurt that can be put out in a very short amount of time. So we really got to watch it. We're going to turn towards that battleship, see if we can close the distance and get some early damage on him. But we spot this cruiser, and he's closer and can hurt us less. So we're going to turn towards him. We're going to focus on him. See if we can catch up with him and get some fire on him before he disappears behind the islands there. As we're doing that, another cruiser pops up. And another one pops up over there, and he's closer. So we're going to take a shot at him. He's just in our range. So we put a couple of shots out towards him. See if anything comes up. We hit him just as he popped out of view. And oh boy, here we go. Now we're coming under some serious fire. That cruiser came out of nowhere, so we're going to return fire on him, and the battleship is steaming towards us too over there. So we really got to watch it. We scored some decent hits on the enemy cruiser. All of them hitting the superstructure, which is good. And there's an incapacitation. We've taken out his engine. So we're going to sail around the island here, and we've set him on fire with that volley. And now we're coming under fire again from another cruiser. It's sailing straight onto us at almost point-blank range. We return fire into him. And we've done some serious damage to him. Check around the corner there, see if anything else is coming around. Continue to put fire into him. We're able to put 4 guns into him, and we've set him on fire. He was already on fire from somebody else. Secondaries are opening up now. And we've scored an incapacitation. We've knocked out one of the main batteries. And we continue to lay fire into him.
The ship is on fire.
We got set on fire and took some significant damage there, as well as an incapacitation. Our anti-aircraft guns were completely knocked out there. But that's alright. No aircraft carriers this battle, so not something I really have to worry about. And we're going to start putting some fire out towards that broadside to us battleship. Putting some high explosive fire into his superstructure and checking every now and then to make sure that the return fire that he's sending towards us doesn't hit us. And that one almost clipped the bow. So we're varying our speed and continuing to maneuver, not sailing in a straight line. Keep putting shots out towards him with the guns that we have available. Now we're broadside to him so that we can get as many guns firing on him as possible. But right after we fire those guns, we're going to turn back around and not be broadside to him, because you do not want to sail broadside on to a battleship. That is a good way to die. And our destroyer there does some nice work, gets in close and dirty, puts a nice barrage of torpedoes into him and finishes him off. So far we've scored 39 hits, 2 of them incapacitations, and 2 of them have set the enemy on fire. Only thing left on the enemy team is their last battleship, and he is clear on the other side of the map. It would be nice to get to him, but it's not going to happen. We give it the old college try, but he's going to get finished off before we can get over there. No surprise, considering he's got 2 cruisers and a battleship to deal with right now. And they were pretty good players, too, don't get me wrong. They did everything right over there, and we didn't lose anybody this whole match. I know it's not saying much, considering we're going up against bots, but still, I mean, you've seen, and if you've played this game, you've probably seen it personally, even bots can take somebody out. So the battleship's almost in range. We've sailed around the island. We're going to try to close the distance, but right about here is where they finish him off. So just before we can get into range. And there it is. Alright, let's take a look at the post-battle. 15,000 credits, 525 experience. Finished 5th on the team, so not that good. Put out 18,000 damage and almost 2,000 damage from the fires we set. Our secondaries also did just a bit over 1,000 damage. So that was a pretty good result. Now here we are in the Tier 2 Japanese cruiser, the Chikuma. And I really like this one. It's got more guns than it has any right to have, and they pack a pretty good punch. One battleship to a team here, and 2 destroyers.
Enemy force detected.
And this one almost gets kind of hairy. First thing we spot, of course, is a battleship over there, and it's just me and one of our destroyers on this side. And I'm sorry, I misspoke. We only have one destroyer to a side. But yeah, it's me and the destroyer, and we've got a cruiser and a battleship over here with us. One of our friendly cruisers is going to try to come over and help. Nope, we do have 2 destroyers. I see him now. Okay. He was hiding on the capture point there. Now we've got 2 cruisers and a destroyer and a battleship to deal with. Their destroyer pops smoke. We're taking damage from a cruiser to starboard. We put a nice shot into the smoke there and hit the destroyer, set him on fire. And the destroyer and the cruiser keep popping in and out of the smoke, but they stay pretty true on their course, so we're able to put some good fire into them. And we're going to close in dangerously close to this destroyer, and we very well could have paid for it. He could have put torpedoes in the water right there, and we would have sailed right into him. Especially considering we turn and smack right into the island. So, error on my part. Steering and the engine take a hit and get knocked out, but we set the damage control on that, get them back in action. We're going full reverse and dumping as much fire as we can into the destroyer, and any second now, there it is, the fire sinks him. Now we focus our fire on this heavily damaged cruiser, score a couple of hits, and he's not long for this world either. And there he goes. Friendly cruiser over there secures the kill. Alright, let's focus on this guy now. And we're on fire right now, but there's nothing we can do about it. So we're just going to have to deal with that and keep focusing on putting fire out to this guy. We've taken some heavy damage now. Well, we're still on fire. And we're closing to close range. And we put some good fire out. And, oh, there we go. Knocked out one of the main batteries on the enemy cruiser. Put more shots out towards him. Further down the line. Set him on fire. Took his engines out. We're going to try to reduce speed. Got another incapacitation. Set him on fire again. He's burning in multiple locations. He's taken severe damage from our high explosive rounds. He's trying to turn. Set him on fire again. He's got torpedoes in the water coming for him from his rear. We keep raining high explosive into him, and just before the torpedoes can get to him and do anything, we sink him. So, we've lost 1, and they've got only 3 left. I gotta watch out for those friendly torpedoes, because if I get within range of them, they can sink me. So, there's another enemy destroyer, and it's the enemy Chikuma. So, we're going to turn to stay broadside to him and put high explosive fire out towards him. And there goes several volleys of torpedoes, and he sunk. Alright. Well, the last thing we can see is that enemy cruiser towards the center of the map, but there it is. There's the enemy battleship, and he's on very low health. So we're going to put high explosive shots out towards him, hit his superstructure. Nice amount of damage there on 4 hits. He's taking damage from another friendly cruiser. We put another volley out towards him, and we get the kill. So now all that's left is that enemy cruiser, and he sinks right afterwards. So let's take a look at the post-battle on that. 31,480 credits, 912 experience. 3 ships destroyed. That's pretty good. Top of the team, no surprise there. And let's take a look at the detailed report here. Almost 26,000 damage from the shell hits and 2,000 damage from fire. So all in all, had a lot of fun out there. Had some good results, with the exception of that first game, which was a real big pain in the butt. But I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again next week.